We're thrilled to have welcomed our first grandbaby recently. But growing this precious human hasn't been easy on our daughter. The unrelenting pregnancy fatigue really took it out of her.
One thing that helped was keeping her fluids up, and she loved Rehydrate. Rehydrate is an essential electrolyte drink made by some great guys right here in Brizzy. It's safe during pregnancy and breastfeeding and is like a magical little energy and hydration boost for mum and bub.
If you're growing a little human or are just feeling a little run down, grab some at Coles today.
Why are family holidays hard?
Because you take the kids.
Oh, yeah, the kids have to go. Yeah, okay. It's the Happy Families podcast, the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now. Hello, my name's Dr. Justin Coulson, dad to 6 daughters, author of 6 books about raising happy families, and I'm joined by somebody who is a mum to 6 daughters, my brand new co-host for the daily Happy Families podcast, Mrs. Happy Families herself, Kylie Coulson. Are you excited about today?
I'm so excited.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about this thing that, well, why don't you tell us? Because you were the one that thought this would be a great podcast idea, and I'm nervous about it because I've been told I'm not allowed to whinge about it, but this is a whingy kind of thing for me to...
Well, today I thought it would be really good for us to talk about our latest family holiday.
Hence the whinginess. I don't think we should just talk about the latest family holiday. I think we should talk about family holidays generally because, you know what, I reckon family holidays are hard.
Yep.
So we're on the same page there. So here's what we're going to talk about in this particular podcast, folks. We're going to talk about how family holidays are hard, and we will talk about our most recent one because that's why Kylie wants to talk about it anyway. I think it's just so that the gloss can come off Dr. Justin Coulson a little bit. We'll see how this goes. Kylie has mentioned that she wants to talk about when family holidays actually do work, and I want to share with you our brand new brainwave for how we think we're going to absolutely nail our next family holiday.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, so let's just go through the list. Why are family holidays hard? For you as a mum, because your list, I reckon, is going to be different to mine.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, go for it. Why are family holidays hard?
Because you take the kids.
Oh, yeah, the kids have to go. Yeah, okay. Yeah. If the children weren't on that family holiday, it would be the best family holiday ever. Now, we love our kids. I mean, don't get us wrong, but they're tiring, right? So let's talk about the dramas.
So I guess when you look at it, you know, you go through a term, all of the children and parents included, we all start to get exhausted as the term goes on.
Right. So you get to week 10 and everyone's like, oh, we need this break.
Yeah. But then in order to have a great holiday, you've, number one, got to have a really good plan in place.
And how good are we at actually getting that plan right?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
Okay. All right. We have done it well. But
let's talk about that later.
Okay, it requires effort. Yep, next.
And then you've got to actually have the energy to execute it.
Yeah. And the other thing that I found is, you know, let's say you get in the car and the kids start fighting with each other, even if you're only going an hour up the road.
Totally.
And so you've got the sibling squabbles and everybody's tired. Oh, and it's not even that. Family holidays are hard because depending on what you're doing, like even if you're going to a hotel or an Airbnb or something like that, a self-contained unit, you've got to get the kids together and pack all their gear and make sure you've remembered everything, and you've got to get the toothbrush and the toothpaste and the hairbrush and the hair tidies.
Well, yeah, let's just make that really clear. Who ends up doing that?
Well, but that's because I'm out, I'm in the office trying to tidy up all the loose ends before we go away.
I talk about this a little bit in my blog. That's just gone live.
Okay. So for those of you who are not members of the Happy Families membership, Kylie has this little spot. Sorry, I've said that so patronisingly. Kylie has this really great contribution that she makes to the membership
spot.
That's called Kylie's Corner. Well, when you say little spot, it fits in the corner. Kylie's Corner is actually one of the most popular parts of our membership, where Kylie just writes this article about her insights, and the most recent one is actually really cool about the cognitive load that mums carry when it comes to organising the family. And I don't think that it's on display any more readily than when we're going on a family holiday. Because, I mean, in our home, I'm usually so busy in the office that I'm leaving you in charge of the planning of the holiday, the reservations and booking of the holiday, the planning the meals, the planning of the activities, packing the kids' stuff. I jump in and pack the car because I'm good at packing cars.
You're very good at packing a car.
But you carry that cognitive, like it's exhausting just to get on the holiday. And we've got a lot of kids, right? So 5 kids to wrangle and make sure that they've put everything into their suitcases that they're supposed to have. It's hard. And then you get there, and not every family has this, but if you've got different age groups, trying to get activities that are going to keep everybody occupied and happy.
Totally. And I think that the hardest thing as a mum is that you actually don't holiday. You actually don't get to holiday.
It's non-stop because the kids normally go to school.
That's right. And I get a few hours to clean.
Everything in order. It's really interesting because when I run my workshops, I'll sit down with parents and I'll say, so when's your family the happiest? And people will say, oh, when we're on holidays. And then I'll sort of talk to them about, are you sure about that? And we talk about how hard holidays are, and people start laughing. They're like, actually, our last holiday was like the holiday from hell. So I want to just briefly talk about our last holiday. I promise I won't whinge too much, but this is what prompted our conversation. We went camping. We're based in Brisbane, and we packed up the trailer, and we went to a place on the north side of Brisbane, just near Bribie Island, called Sandstone Point. Fantastic new facility, great new holiday park.
It was a spectacular park.
Amazing water slide. Oh, by the way, this is not product placement. No, they don't even know we're talking about them. We haven't been paid for this. But not only was there the cognitive load of having to pack the car and get everything organised and get there, when we went to bed the first night, the wind was howling. And if you've ever camped on a windy night, it's like the tent was going to be blown to China. I mean, it was just so impossible to sleep.
We've been warned. The first night at camp is never good. It doesn't matter what the weather's like, what the wildlife's like. That first night, you get rough. Such a rude shock when you lay down on that wonderful
air mattress. So then we got woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning by kookaburras, and they went off every 10 minutes or so. It was worse than the snooze alarm on your phone because at least you can turn that thing off. It just every 10 minutes from 4 a.m. And then the next night, we got new neighbours. And they stayed up until 11 o'clock with their music going in their loud conversations. And
their TV's hooked in.
They've gone camping and they've taken their TV. And look, that's you. That's fine. No judgment from us. We're just going camping so we don't watch TV. I had a rough camp. You actually enjoyed it a lot more than me.
I did. The thing that I love about camping is it just is so simplified. Life is so much simpler with one fork and one knife and one cup.
You can tidy the whole house in 10 minutes. It's done.
I do. I wake up in the morning, the kids go on and get ready for the day, and I sweep out the tent and we're done in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, the problem is the day starts at 4 a.m. Let's talk about two more things. Let's talk about when family holidays do work. And let's talk about our crazy idea for how to make family holidays awesome. So when camping holidays or when family holidays work, this was your idea. When we were putting this podcast plan together, you said, I want to talk about when family holidays work best. So I'm curious.
Well, I think I really touched on it in the beginning. There has to be a plan, especially when you've got a lot of children or numerous age groups that you're dealing with. Having a plan is so important.
So there was a holiday that we had. We were living in Wollongong. We came up to Brisbane to hang out with your family, but no offense to your family, but we didn't really want to just hang out with the family. We wanted to have a holiday.
Well, we wanted to have
here.
a holiday.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so you spent a couple of weeks surfing the internet and finding activities so that every single day we would have something to do.
We did.
And it was an epic holiday. We went to these tiny little theatres and watched some, amateur theatre productions, and we hung out and we did really interesting, unusual kinds of things that we normally would not do either at home or on holidays. And it was really memorable. So when else do family holidays work? I think that our best holidays have been, we went to Club Med in Bali. And that was great. But that kind of goes to the other thing that you said. Holidays are awesome when you don't have to worry about the kids. And Club Med had this kids club that we didn't have to worry about the kids. We just took the kids to kids club after breakfast at 8:30 in the morning, and then we picked them up at 5:30. They were happy. They were doing activities and hanging out with other kids, and we were happy because we didn't have any kids. But we didn't make a lot of memories with the kids except when we intentionally went and pulled them out of kids club and did stuff together, like the cooking class or the trapeze or whatever it might have been.
Yeah, so I think the things that make your holiday, have the ones that have worked really well for us is where either you and I have actually had time away for a couple of nights together. We get on the same page and we have that time together to just be together without interruption, because let's face it, once we're on a holiday, there's really no time for you and I at all together. And so by the time we've had that time together and then we go on a family holiday, we're pumped, we're energized, we're on the same page together.
And we've had time together, which means that we've got time to spend with the kids and we don't feel resentful of the kids for taking away this little bit of time.
That's one thing that I feel makes such a difference to our holidays. The only other thing I can think of that has had the biggest impact is our ability to be present.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of working holidays where you've had to kind of duck away or take a phone call here and there, and that has definitely complicated our holidays a little bit. And so, just being able to be flexible with those kinds of things sometimes has been easy and other times hasn't.
Yeah. So what you're really saying is don't take work on a holiday.
Yeah, where possible.
All right, so we could talk more about that, but we want to hear from you as well. We've got an email address, podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au. podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au. What have been your worst holidays and what have been your best holidays when it comes to the family? I want to share with you our crazy, I don't know if it's that crazy, but our thought out and well-intentioned family holiday idea. We sat down last week and we were talking about how much money it costs to go on a holiday. And for our family, let's say you're going to go away for a week, you're going to do well to do it for less than $5,000. Unless you're going camping, which is even camping, buy out dinner a couple of times, do the travel, pay for the site fees, all that sort of stuff. Still going to spend $1,500, $2,000 for a week away. Now,
Okay.
some families can probably do it cheaper, but that's about that sort of money. Imagine if you just stayed home and did everything within 2 hours of home and spent the money here, but had fun at home instead. Go on holidays at home, save on travel, save on accommodation, save on all those expensive restaurants.
But then I have to clean my house.
Well, we won't be home enough to let that happen. And so the idea is, so we're based in Brisbane and there are so many things that we can do within 2 hours of here. And if we were to set ourselves a budget, let's say we've got a 2-week holiday and we're setting ourselves a budget of a couple of grand, I reckon there would be loads of activities that we could do that the kids would absolutely love. And we can do an activity one day and then have a day by the pool the next day and then do an activity the next day and then have a day at the beach.
You know, it would be
So
awesome.
it's free and then fee and then free and then fee for a couple of weeks.
I'd love to hear from our listeners if they have any great ideas.
Would you do that? Like, does that work? Podcast@happyfamilies.com.au. That's podcast with an S. Podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au. Let us know your ideas about family holidays and what makes them work and what makes them not work. I reckon I'm voting for stay home, especially in the middle of a pandemic. That way you don't have to worry about blowing your money and not getting it back from travel agents and all those kinds of airplane people and cruising people and all that sort of stuff. I think that's the way to go. Thanks so much for listening. We hope that you've enjoyed the changes that we're making to the Happy Families podcast, and we hope that you feel like you're part of the Happy Families family. Kylie, I can't wait to talk about what we're going to do tomorrow. Heavy topic.
It is a heavy one.
There's been some ugly stuff happening in the news around Year 12 students, muck-up days, and some horrible behaviour that has been planned. We don't know if much of it's actually happened, but it's been planned. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. If you'd like to leave us a review, please go to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. We don't really need the 4, 3, 2 or 1-star reviews. They're not necessary. Just the 5-star reviews will be fine. Really appreciate you doing that. Apple Podcasts, just look up the podcast and do what Tayuku did, who said, 5-star review, helping almost daily. I found Dr. Coulson through a webinar he did during COVID, where a lot of his logic just seemed to work for many situations with my kids. I called on his advice a number of times during remote learning. I'm finding the podcast very comforting. Thank you, Tayuku. I really appreciate the 5-star review and also the specific things that we've done that have helped you. That's why we ask for the reviews, because we get to help other people to make their families happier as well. So really appreciate you doing that. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook, Dr. Justin Coulson's Happy Families, or get more info at happyfamilies.com.au. We'll see you tomorrow.